Welcome to Silicon Valley Asian Business Talk.
Hello, everyone. Actually, I'm Roger Chen from the University of San Francisco and also the Center for Business Studies and Innovation in Asia Pacific, and short for USF CBSI Asia Pacific. So, Alfred, would you please, first of all, I want to thank you for supporting us to join this program. And would you please briefly introduce yourself?
Thank you, Roger. Thank you for inviting me. And this is my honor, and really it's a privilege to be here today. And thanks, Heister, and thanks, Ty, to actually have me speak today. I think the last time I actually spoke at a Heister event was maybe 22 years ago, which Heister was just founded. I think I went to a dinner in Cupertino, and I spoke at the dinner. It was very well attended, and so I have extremely fond memories, and it's been a long time. And so thankful to be back. So I was born in Hong Kong, and I was graduated from the University of San Francisco with a computer science degree. And then I went to UC Davis for my graduate studies. And then I got my master's degree from them. And then halfway through my PhD program, I quit and I went to work for Sun. I was at Sun for about just under 9 years. And I founded my own company called BEA Systems. BEA was a very successful venture. So we went public in 4 years and pivoted the company into the web space in the late 90s and reached $58 billion market cap, and eventually got to just under $2 billion in revenue, and sold to Oracle for $9 billion, just under $9 billion during the financial crisis. And then I've done other companies and been very active in investing in the early stage company for the past decade plus. And so about 5 years ago, I started a firm with two other partners focusing on seed stage investment in infrastructure technology. So that's what I've been very focused on in the past few years. I'm having a grand time. This is like 2000 all over again for this AI era. So very thankful to be here. Yeah.
Lesson: running and growing fast-changing tech company.
Let's move on to the next set of questions, which is a company building. And Alfred, you already kind of touched upon a little bit, but we'd like to hear your kind of more articulated way to explain that. Clearly you are very successful in founding and leading the BEA systems, right? And also, according to Harvard Business School, actually, when BEA scales up the business in the early 2000s, actually, according to Harvard Business School, it had become, meaning that your company become the fastest company in history to reach the $1 billion in revenue. That's according to Harvard Business School, right? That's a very credible source. So you are the leaders, you are the CEO, and can you share with us your kind of a reflection? You mentioned about timing, but for anybody, any kind of lessons they can learn about assessing the time, preparing for the time, things like that, even though it's about a timing. So that's my question. Share with us your a reflection about leading the BEA, which rapidly grow in your time.
I think I mentioned a little earlier, I think timing is crucial. I think the other thing is, I think tech, software in particular, hardware now, as well, it is super unique. One of the things that I am still studying and trying to figure out is why we have such little legacy, right? So how many 100-year-old technology companies we have? We don't have any. We barely have any that's 50 years old. If they're 50 years old, they're really not doing that well. I would say if we have the same meeting 20 years ago, the most prominent software company would have been, actually, it wasn't Microsoft, it was IBM, right? And how often is IBM mentioned anymore, right? They were my most formidable competitor. They used to own almost monopolize the entire enterprise computing field, from hardware to the desktop, to all the software, to storage, to networking, to the whole thing. And I think this is the very tough part when you are in the invention business. We're in the invention business, and our cycle is very short. So we're sitting here in Silicon Valley, right? So one of the curious questions people always ask me and say, why does a stock option vest every 4 years? I think I studied that myself, right? So I follow everybody else and say, our stock option is 4 years, you have 1 year cliff, and then you vest the rest of the 48 months. Everybody does it, right? Because that's why you do it. Actually, it turned out there's a reason. whoever is the forefather that kind of designed this, along with their council, they already knew. At best, any technology you're rolling and selling into the marketplace, they pretty much has 4-year peak life, and that's it. So when you enter into the 4 years, if you're not already starting to think what will be next for me, then eventually you're going to see decline. This is a treadmill that not only is speeding up constantly, is inclining also, right? By the way, that's how I felt when I was running a public company. I said, well, it's hard enough the thing is speeding up constantly, so you're running faster, and now I'm not growing a bigger heart. So they say my heart rate is now growing, and now the thing is also that you feel like it's inclining. So I need more torque to be able to stay where I am. So every 90 days you're reporting the quarter, right? Every 4 quarters you're reporting the year. So when people ask me, I said, well, how was running like a public company like? I said, well, it was a very tough 44 quarters. I measure myself in quarters. I'm serious, right? So I think we did well during 3 years' time was we never, ever not rethink what our next big thing would be. We did a lot of very daring things. We literally took a 90-degree turn. We had a very successful product called Tuxedo. And we knew its sales cycle was too long. It took 6 quarters to close a deal. Deals were very big, $10 million deals. But eventually, you only have 4 quarters a year. You will miss. It's just math. So you will have to, that's all SLG, sales-led motion. You really have to need product-led motion. And nobody has done it before, right? Only people by then, in 2000, that had big developer base was Microsoft. But they had desktop software. So we roll into the space and say, we can create large developers following on the platform for enterprise computing. We did. We got 1 million developers in less than 4 quarters. So you have to then line up to figure out how people will think they're not locked in, all the things a developer needs. So you have to rethink the whole company to suit them. I think that is the hardest. And I tell you, there's a live example that we're witnessing and we're watching. Everybody's talking about every single day they close by. It's NVIDIA. I tell you, the first time I met Jensen, we used to belong to this club called CCI. And I'm talking about like Heister and Tai. When I went to this group is all basically big cap tech company CEO. There were very few Asian, South Asian, very few. It was me, it was Jensen, it was, I think, John Chen from BlackBerry. Shantanu just became CEO at Adobe. This is before Satyaj's and Sundar. They weren't even around. There were very few of us in the room. And he always said one thing. He said, I have no box, I have no box, I have no box. And I said, I have no box too, okay? I tell you, there's no box method, so he's never trapped inside of a box. Talk about a company that started as a graphics chip company to game, to autonomous driving, to crypto, to AI. Talk about no box, right? It's the ultimate no box company. That is so hard to do when you're in this size because you have to be fearless to say, if I'm wrong, I'm okay to have a setback, but I'm going to go die trying. So that's, I think, the most crucial thing is this is a never-ending trying type of business. The minute that you stop, there's no fun. And I think I'm personally so addicted to this thing. I can't get away. There's nothing that interests me more than like this excitement. I get up in the morning, that's the first thing I want to do is go to the computer. The very last thing I do at night is at the computer. It's an illness, I think it's almost.
That's great. Actually, also relates to my next question. So in other words, you're talking about this kind of the willingness to think about the next big things and take risk and try. Maybe could you kind of also elaborate your thoughts about how to mitigate the risk and also how to detect the early signals of pivoting, things like that? Because it's not just like your courage that will lead you there. You also need to do a lot of things, other things, right?
Well, I think the most important element would be people.
People.
Company do grow in size, right? So obviously, the bigger it grows, the more problem you're going to run into that people don't want to change. Now, I'm sure I'm not the first one to say, most of the large companies meeting with a lot of people are therefore only for consensus gathering, and that's it. Decision is already made before they walk in a room. So they just walk in a room to basically stamp to say, yeah, right? Everybody look in their eyes, say, you all agree, right? That's it. Those companies are not going to change. Those are not the changing company. So you can actually see the company dying when that starts happening. So you see a lot of the really, really great leaders, they will say, if you anytime that you have more than 5 or 7 people in a meeting, stop, don't do them. That's the reason. So I think the hardest part for the journey is not only you're growing by constantly rethinking about your strategy, your product, your go-to-market, your packaging, your pricing, right, your competitors, you're constantly rethinking about the people. Because some of that, you got to promote the people fast enough to be able to get there. You have to give them opportunity. You'll be surprising yourself, right? The best people are the ones that actually grow in the company. But you constantly also will be adding new blood. So then the mix will allow you to never stop. The engine is still moving and moving and moving. I think that's a very tough thing. And I think one of the things that actually going back to studying in university, right? People ask me and say, well, what do you wish you would have studied? Do you wish that you finished your PhD? Is that the most important thing? It is, by the way. I wish I did, okay? I always feel inadequate when I run into some professor or some, like remarkable scientist. These days, there are a lot of scientists floating around doing AI. So people come to see my office, they have, PhD in this and from some incredible school. But I wish I have a psychology degree. Because that's what I will say is almost the most crucial part of my job, especially now, because I'm trying to size up the person to see if they have enough tenacity, they have enough persistence, because every company that walks in my door, including the one I funded, they will end up pivoting the company 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times before they get to where they are. And everybody these days are asking me about the Databricks journey. And they say, oh, what a smooth ride. In 13 years, they just got to $50 billion in valuation. Oh my God, you didn't see the pain, sweat, and changes you have to readjust in the company to get to this point. Near-death experience, things that, that you didn't expect, and things that you have to do and change. So you need strong leadership to be able to constantly are looking for these people to help you drive those changes. Young people, some people that have no baggage, no legacy, mixing in people that have experience. This is a constant mixture of this. So I wish that I think we educate and help assist, the young people that are coming into the workforce, knowing a lot more. This is such a crucial thing. We don't teach that. Definitely not in a computer science degree. It's not really quite in a business degree either.
Agreed.
It's amazing.
Thank you for watching.